G'day, mate. Glad you could make it. Check this out. What do you think about that? Red light hovers over Salem. Ooh. Observers call police to report possible fast-moving UFO. Crikey, mate. What could it be? I'll read this when I'm done. That'll be a real treat, eh? I don't know why I'm doing that other than it's fun. But yeah, I had telepathic communication. This was September of 1989. And I think certain things are going to start coming out. So I'm going to get ahead of the curve a little bit. I was sitting in my living room. I was in Salem, sitting in a little cottage in a alleyway between streets, summer, winter, shipping in Norway. And I was just sitting there. I got up, got dressed, and I had the TV on. I don't think I was watching anything. I was sitting there and I heard, his telepathic message. It said, come outside. We got something for you to see. You want to see this? It's like, okay, who is this? I don't really know you. It's like, no, you want to see this. It's like, okay. So I went and opened the door and kind of peek out. And I didn't see anything. So I had a little concrete step and then a step down to the path. And so I went down, stepped on the path, and it just went immediately right to carport and little utility room with a washer and dryer. So I went out there, I'm looking around, I kind of walked the path, and there's nothing out here. So I thought, well, I'm out here, I kind of feel stupid now, so I'll check the washer and dryer, maybe there's something in it. No, nothing there. And I thought, just walked back in the house. I thought, what was that? People that talk to me aren't wrong. Well, the person talks to me they're not wrong. So I go back to the house. What was that? So I'm about to close the door, and I hear, "No, what are you doing? Come back!" It's like a whole bunch of people yelling. It's like, all right, geez. So I open the door, I go on the step, and I step in the path, and I turn right, take one step, and I just go, okay, I'm outside, now what? And they say, look up, up. So I looked up, I was wearing a baseball hat. That's why I didn't see him, I guess. I don't know why I was wearing a hat. Look up, and it's a red glowing sphere, and it's like, whoa, what is that? I just kind of tried to correlate it between everything I'd ever seen. It's okay, so this is something completely different. And, thinking back on that now, I wish I had to ask, like, hey, what's your name? Who are you? Where are you from? But I was just kind of staring. I probably look like a dog that hears something new for the first time, can't understand it. But, yeah, I was just watching. I thought, well, I had a camera with had one shot on it. And girlfriend took pictures of a vase or curtains or something because she wanted to take the last shot so you could get it processed. This is 89, so everything was pictures back then, nothing digital. I said, what? Yeah. I said, oh, great. I could have used that now. And I thought, well, maybe I should wake her up. And I thought, well, by the time she wakes up and gets out of bed, this could be gone. And then she'll just be mad that I woke her up. So I said, well, I'll just sit here and watch. And I wish I had to talk to him. I wish I said, hey, next time I will. Ask them who they are and where they're from. But yeah, it just sat there and it just started moving so slow. It just so still before, but that's the only way I could tell it was moving because it was so still before. And just slowly, just so slowly. And then it's like it got going a little faster, a little faster. And it's like the further away it got, the faster it got. And then I was kind of trying to see it through the trees and stuff. And it finally disappeared. It's like a silvery kind of flash thing. Kind of looks silvery when it. But yeah, it's in the next. Now I saw this article in the paper. I was working graveyard shift. Me and my girlfriend worked the same place, and we were carpooling with a couple other people. They drove. They're coming from another town. They drove right past us, so we carpooled with them. And since I'd seen this article, I thought, well, it's okay to talk about it now. So I told them the story. I don't know if I told them I might have told them I had telepathic contact with them. I don't know. But I just get finished telling them the story, and we were driving. It was graveyard shift, so it was dark. It was night. It's like 10 o'clock at night. And we come up, me and Jack both worked outside. Receiving, driving forklift. And when we came up around the curve, we parked the scale shack because we both worked outside. That's where the trucks came in, got weighed. So there's not a lot of people out there. The plant parking lot was a zoo, so avoided that. So we were made the last turn, and this scale shack is just sitting by itself, kind of out in the open. There's nothing within a couple 100 yards because, trucks go in and out. You got to have a lot of space for trucks and things to line up. So as we come up, I just finished the story, and we take one of the turns, come up, and so we can see the scale house. But right there is a black helicopter, big black helicopter, right above. It's about, 20 feet off the left-hand side of the road, and 40, 50 feet up. It's like, whoa, what is that? I just get through finished telling them the story, and then that sitting there. It's like, wow, that's weird. I guess that's probably for me. So we parked the scale house, and we just kind of watched that helicopter for a little bit. Well, okay. Well, I got to go to work. I remember I was keeping track of time. But yeah, it was kind of tumultuous after that. And I broke up with my girlfriend like a day or two later, which is high time. That relationship was ended. That poor girl. Never met anyone more traumatized. Had a more traumatized life than her. But yeah, after I broke up with her, we worked the same place, so I tried to avoid areas where she worked, and I drove around the plant, so kind of forced to see her every once in a while. But I got good at hiding. It was working graveyard where it was only mainly cleanup crews. They weren't really running product, so I really didn't. Job I was doing was driving sanitation, driving garbage. I had a special forklift that could pick stuff up, and then the forks would turn upside down. You could dump stuff. So then I just usually get everything done right when I got on shift and at break and lunch, and then I could just hide from the sanitation supervisor because she's always wanting me to do busy work and stuff like mix chemicals and stuff. I'm not into mixing chemicals and stuff. So anyway, I'd hide out at the cold storage. I mean, that wasn't even our part of the plant. It was a separate, the cold storage was a separate operation, so no one really went out there. And it was okay for me to go out there because that's where the pallets were and stuff, and so that's where a good place to hide too. But yeah, I was hiding out there. I still smoked back then. I went out to the back, and there wasn't any lights out there. I thought, wow, it's dark out here. It's really dark out here. I remember thinking. And I finished my smoke, went inside, and my forklift's gone. That's weird. And there's some guy driving my forklift, and well, what's with this guy? And talked to one of the girls at the check stand. She goes, "You've been gone for 3 hours." Where were you? You gone for 3 hours? Like, I looked at the clock. Yeah, I was gone. So I consider that was maybe, I don't know, maybe, I always thought it was some military type thing. I wasn't sure. That's the feeling I got. But I didn't feel real bad about it or anything, but it's just, but yeah, the thing I've learned is I get a lot of telepathy is a lot different. It's more direct and it's more secure. And the government's come out and they've announced that, well, yeah, they acknowledge UFOs, acknowledge that they've been researching some since, well, Roswell, 40s. And there's some fantastic technology that military and very rich people have that we don't have. Now, I'm sure there's quite a few military officers out there that are really kind of disgusted with the way things are going. They got families here too. They're human. Orders are one thing, but when you sign up to defend and protect, and you're not really allowed to do your job, that's gotta hurt. And the way veterans are treated is horrible. The way people in general are treated is horrible. But yeah, a lot of this is going to come out eventually, and I'd like to ask people to just keep an open mind. And another thing I'd like to point out, yeah, when I was a child, I got telepathic messages from, it seemed like my mom. I mean, she sounded the same, and she thought the same way. It's just she knew things my mom couldn't know. But she just helped me. She tried to, remember the first time, well, one of the times that really stood out, I remember one of my mom's friends came over and they were talking in the kitchen. I just kind of got upset because it was kind of interrupting my mom time. So I went out back in the backyard and I was kind of mad. I called her my fairy godmother. She goes, "Are you mad at your mom's friend?" I go, "Well, yeah." "Why are you mad?" I go, "I don't know. I didn't know the word for jealousy." So I said, "Well, she's fat." goes, well, it's not her fault. She's like that. You know, she's really nice, and she's a good friend to your mom, and your mom really likes her too. And I bet if you went in there and talked to her, you'd probably like her too. I thought, well, okay, I'll try that. I did. She was right. And a number of other times, she helped me. And he saved my life, literally. Got pushed through the front window of our house. She said, cover your head, curl up in a ball. Cover your head, curl up in a ball. So that's what I did, and almost got a sibling tried to cut off my toes and my right foot. And she said, do not pull your foot out. You can cut off your toes, push it in as far as you can. He's trying to wedge my toes off. I pushed my foot farther in, couldn't get, it's not much torque on it, so it hurt like heck, but still had my toes. But yeah, a lot of the technology is been hoarded, and there are negative forces here. I've coming up on 58 years of same people doing the same stuff over and over and over. And a lot of them are Catholic and Masonic types, including fraternities, sororities. Been a few military West Point types. Soldiers I get along with great. There's a few West Point types that don't really like me. But that's because I don't know. I don't think the way they do. I had the priest in first grade. I asked about God. He was screaming in my face, aren't you afraid of going to hell? I said, no. He said, well, are you going to go to hell? I said, no, I'm not. Who is this guy? I'm not going to hell. So he pretty much hated me. Staff, and I was #1 target for the kids, so. But think of that. You don't believe if you don't believe in me, you're going to hell. Anyway, that's kind of the attitude of a lot of these people. So you treat them, anyone. I felt like the only spiritual person in that school when I went there. I wanted to be a priest when first grade when I went to school. They were practicing different religion than me. I mean, it's like I believed in Jesus more than anyone there. But yeah, you don't think as me, then you're going to hell. Well, that's pretty pessimistic. The thing is, there's no such thing as hell. This right here, right now, this place, this is close to we'll ever get to hell. Anyway. Don't know the point. I should write down notes or something. But here we go. Get with the story, eh? Here we go. Red light hovers over Salem. Crikey, mate, what could it be? Observers call police to report possible fast-moving UFO. Ooh. A mysterious red light. Hovering over the eastern downtown area of Salem. Tuesday had people wondering whether they were seeing an unidentified flying object. They were, mate. I can tell you for sure. I talked to them in my head. Salem police dispatchers talked to about 5 people between 8 and 9:30 p.m. who said they saw a red light moving at a high rate of speed. Crikey. Now, there's a little conundrum of time there. 'Cause I saw this at dusk. That's way before 8 and 9:30. And I only saw it for maybe less than a minute. But these people saw it from 8 to 9:30. Strange, eh? I'll say. Roy Rogers, one of the dispatchers, said he noticed the red light as he was driving east towards Salem about 8 p.m. He said he thought it was stationary. Well, this bloke, well, let's carry on. Let's see what he says. At first, I thought it was a radio tower light. But then, when I got into town, I knew there wasn't such a tower downtown. Great deduction there by Mr. Rogers. Roy Rogers, what's with that? You know, I bet his name was really Ray or Ron, and they just screwed up. Hi, Roy Rogers. I bet maybe he named his car Trigger. Ha! I don't know. I think Roy Rogers had a horse named Trigger. Could be. Not my era, mate. I'm not that old. Let's carry on. Dispatchers checked with weather service employees to see whether the light could have been attached to a weather balloon, he said. Roger Nelson of the National Weather Service at Salem's McNary Field said no weather balloons were released near that time. Each day a balloon is released at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m., he said. The 4 a.m. balloon carried a small white light. Nelson did not receive any calls from citizens about the red light. Rogers said Federal Aviation Administration officials also called dispatchers, worried that a helicopter was flying about down by town without notifying the control tower at Salem's McNary Field. The tower was closed late Tuesday. Police weren't sure how they would go about investigating the reports unless someone could give them additional information such as the shape of the object, he said. Well, that should be easy. Although dispatchers weren't sure what the light was, Rogers wasn't convinced he saw a vessel from outer space. I've been curious about UFOs since I was a kid, he said. It didn't look like that kind of light to me. Little did he know. He saw it from 20 miles out, further than me. He was much closer to where I am. And it talked in me head, so I know it was from somewhere else. One thing I'd like to point out. If they did come down and land, they have no rights. 0. World law says anyone from another planet has 0 rights. You know, with zoning laws and environmental laws, rocks, dirt and water have more rights, and they don't have very good rights at all. And if someone landed here right now and wanted to get out and talk, they would have none. And you'd probably have half a dozen government agencies here wanting what they have, wanting to steal their technology or their ship. So that's one thing I'd like to put forth, is a new law. If ET wants to land and talk, I think they'd be allowed to. I think, well, I'm a lot more Native American than I appear. I feel, well, the Native Americans have a rapport with star people. They may be the only group that could say, if star people want to land and talk and get out and have a conversation, then on their reservation land, they'll be considered sovereign people, like everyone else on the planet, and give them rights as such. And when I saw this sphere, it was like a renaissance for me. I separated from my dysfunctional girlfriend. This is best for both of us. And, I took off some time from work, took off 5 days, and I just kind of sat and thought. I realized, I've been being taught telepathically for a very long time. I've realized that we're all connected. I'm telepathic, but everyone is to a certain degree. We all share. There's some, study Rupert Sheldrake. It's the effects of collective conscious. Because we all do share. We're all part of this. So are the animals and the plants, just as much as us. And we're all in this together. But there are dark forces that do not want us evolving. They feed on negative energy. Simple as that. And that's why this world is a duality. It's a struggle just to live. And that's because there are people that want it to be a struggle. They don't want the masses to be happy. They want them because they feed off that. And if everyone on this planet were happy for a moment, we'd have heaven on earth. Every single person just happy or content for one moment, we'd have heaven on earth. But the forces that be are going to try to keep us as far away from that as possible. So, anyway. G'day, mate! Thanks for joining me! I'll see you again. And I love you too. Maybe I'll have to stop doing that. Hey, love you.